What is your best mixing tip? My best mixing tip. Wow, okay. I have to think.
Trying to bring it your way,
Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. Today, the entire day in the studio making music, but not in my own studio. Today I'm working with Justus together. You know him, he's my guitar player. We're working on something I can't share. It's like a job for advertisement, something that will help me to get a little bit more money to pay my new studio and all of the construction. So I thought about doing a Q&A, answering your music production questions. But first, let's check out his studio. It's really nice, a lot of gear. A lot of hours later, my head hurts like crazy because we worked on music that probably no one likes, but yeah. If you need to earn money and you got a nice possibility to do something, just go ahead, do it. With that money you can then pursue doing what you love. Without money it just doesn't work, unfortunately. And I definitely need money for the next step today. By the way, the sun is setting again slowly, so it's really late. And it's also something that even emphasizes the headache. I'm standing again on the parking spot at IKEA. And my entire body is kind of refusing to step out of the car, but there's just no way around it, so let's just get over with it. This was at least the quickest IKEA visit. I pre-ordered, so just had to pick it up, and now let's see if all of this fits into the car.
Trying to bring it your way, he said.
No problem, still plenty of space available, not comparable to the last time. Now from my least favorite place to my favorite place. Almost midnight. I'm done with building IKEA kitchen stuff. I feel like I'm surrounded by every single little IKEA thing that was ever made. This will take at least like 3, 4, 5 more days. Because putting all of this together is the easy part. Making it fit into the kitchen and be aligned is the hard part. But I think for the Q&A, let's just switch to another location. That is more fun than this stuff. Yes, this feels alright, a million times better between my two bad boys. Just amazing. I'm just a little sad that I'm not using them so much at the moment, but 2 more weeks, kitchen, like here at the back wall, still waiting for the fabrics, some other small details, and then this will be fully operational. First question, do you ever find you need more than the MacBook Pro when you have a lot of tracks? If you want to be on the safe side and you're just making music in the studio, get a desktop computer, obviously more power, better, way better heat distribution. That's usually where it lacks nowadays, like getting that heat out of those tiny, small, very thin Apple MacBooks. It's almost impossible. But if you have to be mobile, then get a MacBook, and then just you have to learn to live with it not being able to have the full potential, or you just have to upgrade it every 2 or 3 years just to be on par with all of the plugins, especially Diva, Serum. There are CPU drains. So it's really all about the mobility aspect. If you don't need the mobility, then go with the desktop. What was your starting budget? I don't know what this really means. The starting budget for what? For the studio? If for the studio it was maybe 10,000–12,000 euros that I saved up. If it's for me starting my music production career, it was 0. I just started it. And for my DJ career, same thing. I just saved up a little bit. You don't need that much to start what you love. Making music nowadays is very inexpensive, so just don't worry about a budget. Just start small, start simple, work your way up. I know it's the hard way, it takes longer, but trust me, it's worth it. When will the noise in the videos disappear? I know, it's annoying, especially for an audience that is audiophile. For me as well, editing the vlogs at the moment doesn't make a whole lot of fun. If you've missed that one vlog where I explained it, the mic input of my camera is broken. It's the third time in 5 months, it's insane. I contacted the store, they refused repairing it, they refused giving me my money back, and I don't have any money at the moment to buy a second camera, so I'm a little stuck. I don't have a solution for this problem at the moment. I even was thinking about recording the audio externally, but then I have to get a recorder again and then sync it in post, and doing that daily is impossible. So yeah, I might have to wait until to my birthday and maybe with a bit of luck buy a cheap camera, get this one repaired and then switch again. I don't know, it's a mess, it's annoying, and really the third time I don't even want to talk about it. How many tracks, instruments are there typically in your song? It really depends. If it's a full vocal production, for example, my back-to-back song had I think 45, 49 tracks in total with all of the vocals. It depends. Some people put all of their drums into one bus, into one channel, because they're using one drum plugin that loads in the samples. But really don't worry that much about the track count. I would say for a club track, maybe like you could get away with 15 to 20, maybe 30 with all of the effects and the ear candy. If it's a vocal production, add at least like 20 tracks. So around 50 for full vocal production I think is normal. If you layer a lot, it could be more. If you're going towards 100, I think you're starting to do something wrong, because nowadays music is simple, pure, minimal, and the minimal stuff as good as possible. I think that's the key. What is your best mixing tip? My best mixing tip. Wow, okay. I have to think. Maybe to not worry about the mixing that much. Maybe just take care of the mixing at the very end. First write a song. Write a good song. Arrange that song. Make sure you got the right elements. Then the sound design, that it's interesting. Have transitions in there, effects, breaks, rests, contrast, all of that. And if it's all checked, then worry about the mixing. The mixing will be so much easier if everything else is just right. If you start mixing while you're creating your first 3 tracks or your first small loop that might be a drop in the future, you're kind of screwed, because then you're just endless mixing and it will never work out. First finish the song, the idea, nail it, get it into your computer, save it, and then worry about the mixing. How can I make the... It's funny, he says handy bass. In Germany, handy is a mobile phone, so the mobile phone bass is referring to the bass frequency section that you can hear on small speakers. It's usually, like, it depends on the phone, but usually above 200 Hertz. And making sure that this translates very well onto a phone is quite hard. I wouldn't concentrate too much on it. On a phone, it sounds shitty anyways. I mean, you could fake it with having more attack on the bass if you actually like the attack. Then there are some plugins by Waves, for example. There is one that emphasizes bass frequencies above a cutoff to make them more audible on small speakers. But yeah, don't worry about it. If you're making a club track that should work in a club and you just have sub bass, it's fine. If it works there, that's good. It shouldn't work on a phone. It's not meant to be played on a phone. If you make radio music, make sure that it also sounds good on small speakers. You just have to gear the track towards it. But usually, naturally, a radio track has less sub bass and less bass that you actually can't hear than a club track, for example. What is the plastic film you use in your absorbers? It's stuff that you can still see on the back wall. It's in Germany called Malerfolie. It's like the foil you use on the floor when you paint the walls. It's very, very, very thin. It's so thin you can just by touching it, it rips. It's really hard to get it in one piece onto the wall. And I'm just using it to be safe from the rock wool. The small particles are not the healthiest, and it seals it, and then the fabric on top makes sure that whatever the plastic could reflect, it's really, really extremely thin, is absorbed again by the fabric. The fabric is at least 3 times thicker than the plastic wrap. Did you already plan your ADE Yes, partially Leonard is helping me a little bit. I will be there for 3 days, I think 17, 18, 19, something like that. What DAW and interface do you use and why? I use Logic because I started with Logic. I think it's good. It's the most complete package for the cheapest price. And the interface I'm using at the moment is by Arturia called AudioFuse. It's a very small one that can do a bunch of stuff. But I'm thinking about upgrading, at least for this room, but probably also downstairs. I need something more professional that is for a studio, not like a mobile recording device. So, I think that's it for today's Q&A. If you want to ask me any questions for the next Q&A, usually on Instagram, just follow me there. I will post something in the story, you just respond, and then your question ends up here in a vlog. We will see us tomorrow, back again here in the studio, finishing probably not finishing the kitchen, not finishing here Studio A, but advancing with the construction, hopefully.